Who's ready for the Arsenal fans to undermine our cup win, saying we're lucky because Gordon is banned from it? Mind the gap, Gooners. Look, I've lost a lot of respect for a lot of Arsenal fans this year because of their unwillingness to accept their own shortcomings and trying to always make a case that it's everybody else to blame or everybody else got lucky. We all started this season with 0 points, and Arsenal had got themselves to a position where they rightly expected a title challenge. You know, the team's good enough that that's a fair reflection of what they should be doing. But not criticising some of the stuff Arteta's done, which I think has led to their collapse this season, I find very weird. So he overplayed Saka, brought him on in unnecessary games when he didn't need to, and that ended up with an injury. He didn't go out and buy a centre forward when he kept bringing in midfielders, for what reason I don't know. So I think that and his negative attitude in the way he's gone about trying to make sure Arsenal don't lose a game rather than going to win a game, I think if you look at all of that, they've only got themselves to look at. Because we fell away last season in a similar situation where we had a load of injuries. So we know what it feels like. And it's tough shit, you know. Nobody had much sympathy for us last year when we fell away. You know, they were all quite happy to jump on and laugh at us. So I find it hard to have any sympathy at this point. The only thing that really pisses me off is I just wish they'd acknowledge and say well done. You know, because I promise you, if Arsenal had won the league, I would have been on and said well done to them. I would have said it through gritted teeth and I would have hated every minute of it. But, you know, that's sport. I just feel like they're becoming a very unlikable fan base. Now, it's difficult, of course. I don't want to treat every Arsenal fan the same because we've certainly had some really cool Arsenal fans who've come into our chat and be sound. But, you know, online, they've gone to a different level this season. Like, it's become everyone laughing at Arsenal fans because of their attitude. It's been weird to see. After Arteta signed Havertz for that money, he lost my respect, said Mart. It's just a weird one. Like, everybody knew Arsenal needed a striker. Every Arsenal fan knew it. And they've had 2 windows that they didn't address it in. And in January, it seems particularly criminal for them not to have gotten a forward. Now, maybe the one they want isn't available, but either way, you're in a position in January where you're within touching distance of us at times. And, you know, when we drew 2 games, they had a chance to close the gap. And they just looked toothless. The real telling moment for me was when we played them at the Emirates. And I keep coming back to this and I keep talking about it, but when you have Gabriel Martinelli running to the corner flag with 15 minutes plus stoppage time to go in a game that you were 1 goal up in against one of your title rivals, and you could have gone for the jugular and killed it off, but you didn't, and then we scored and it ended up 2-2. That was the moment where I knew Arsenal didn't have the balls to go head to head and win the title this year. That was it. Encapsulated in one little moment. That was it. It clicked in my head and I thought, that's it. They ain't winning shit this season. They ain't winning the Premier League. Not a chance. And maybe people think I'm making too big a deal of that moment or not, but all I can say is in my head, that's when I clicked and thought, well, we're winning this fucking league now. That's it. We're winning the league. Feck Arsenal. When we had injuries last season, we still won a trophy. Exactly. And Arsenal's only chance now is the Champions League, and so what? If they win the Champions League, they'll have absolutely earned it because they'll have probably beaten Real Madrid. They'll have beaten either us or PSG, and then they'll have beaten probably Barca or Inter in the final if they were to go all the way. And that would be a Champions League that you would say they earned. But I don't think they'll do it. Douglas! Exactly, spot on. It's about our luck to Gooners. Yet we're on pace to smash the 90-point mark if we rotate and progress in the Champions League. We have been consistent all season. Put some respect on us. Yes, sir. 100. I'm going to heart that comment myself because it deserves it. I agree, man. Absolutely. I seen a stat the other day, Douglas, that was fucking hilarious. So they put up managers in the Premier League to get 89 plus points, and they had I think Mourinho, Klopp, Guardiola, and there was maybe Conte or somebody else was in there, and they put Arteta in, and I almost fell off my chair laughing because the only reason that they put 89 points was because that's the most they've gotten. And if he put it to 90 points, that would have been a very different list, and Arsenal fans wouldn't have been able to try to laud Arteta for it. We lost the title with 96 points. 96 bleeding points, and we lost the title. And they're trying to make out Arteta some modern great at 89 points. It just makes me laugh. It's so tin pot. Muckrab said, Craig, we're probably winning the league. I'm going to stop you right there, sir. We are absolutely winning the league. No more talk of 97, sorry. Was it? I thought it was 96 the year we lost, was it? So it was 99 when we won it. And that pisses me off. Sorry, 97, my apologies. 97 points. I'm going to stop you there, Muckrab. Yeah, we're winning it. There's no if anymore, mate. We're winning it. There's no if. We're 98.7% likely, according to the analysts. So, yeah. And we've lost one game this season. You know, to say anything other than we've deserved it. Like, it's not our problem if City don't show up for the season. It's not our problem if Arsenal fall away. We can only beat who we play. And we can only put in the performances that we can. And we're still on track for another 90-plus point season. So, I would have guessed... around September, October, I would have said 86 points, 87 points would probably win you the Premier League this year. I think I did a video actually talking about it. Maybe I went as high as 88, but I certainly didn't think we'd be seeing us or anybody get into the 90-point barrier this season the way the season started. So, you know, consistency is key in a league campaign, and we've certainly been consistent. Muckrab said I didn't finish his comment. You said what does their deserve to winner meter say if they have one for the league? I don't know, mate, but all you need to know about the deserve to winner meter is they will always find a way to make Arsenal deserve to win, to make themselves feel a bit better. Thomas Caulfield said Slot and the scientific team have been the small difference between this year and last year. I'm glad you brought that up, Thomas. Thank you, Thomas Caulfield. Shout out. I did a video in the summer about Ruben Peters, who is the guy that Arne Slot looks to for basically the go-ahead to play players or the intensity of training. And together, along with the rest of their team, they made sure that Feyenoord had like 90% plus availability of first-team players last season. And it was certainly something that was highlighted. You know, I'm quick enough to call out journalists for stuff, but this, in fairness to those journalists, was something that was spoken about when Arne Slot and his team were coming in. And I remember doing my video on Arne Slot and going through all my notes, and Ruben Peters' name came up. And I thought, I wonder will they be able to make that small difference, like you've said, between keeping players available into a part of the season where we've fallen apart in a few seasons with injuries. So yeah, I'm glad you brought it up, Thomas, because they certainly deserve that credit. You know, it's very difficult to measure these things because you're dealing in hypotheticals a lot of the time. What might have happened if this didn't happen, but from my understanding of reading about Ruben Peters, it was his word was gospel to Arne Slot. If he said you can only train the lads at this intensity today, that's what happened. If he says this guy should only play 65 minutes, Arne listens. And you've seen it this season, like with Trent being taken off, coming back from a knock, or other players. They haven't wanted to roll the dice, and it stood us in good stead. So yeah, man, good comment.